Hello, this is Princess Somnia, and welcome back to more Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles. Sorry for the delay, but it took a little while putting together these two side quest episodes. Now, today we're going to be finishing off a few of the quests that I started previously, but decided to hold off on until now. Starting with Dean's Shady Request. Between episodes, I collected the Shin Geckos in Tephra Cave and returned them to Sonia, so now we can head off to Dean and complete the quest. But yeah, editing these two side quest episodes combined with all the other life things that I had going on kind of took a little bit of a while, so sorry about that, but anyway, yeah, this is the end of Dean's Shady Request. But anyway, something I wanted to show off just as soon as, there we go. Something I wanted to show off after the end of the game. You notice that we got an achievement called the Strongest Tie. Well, if you look at your affinity chart real quick, you will notice that up here, Dean and Sonia have a blue affinity link between the two. That's the highest rank you can get on the affinity chart. Consequentially, though, she and her daughter Sonia and Liliana have red affinity link between the two. That's the worst rank that you can have. It basically goes red, orange, yellow is neutral, green is happy, or, well, better than orange, and then blue is the highest possible it can get between NPCs. Obviously, in your party, it can go higher than blue, but it also can't go lower than yellow, so. Anyway, we're completing Romantic Notions of a Boy. Remember that this is exclusive with Romantic Notions of a Girl, but generally speaking, I think completing Romantic Notions of a Boy ends up better for you on the affinity chart. It doesn't usually matter a whole lot how your ranks are between NPCs on the affinity chart, but generally speaking, you want to try and get as many people as happy with each other as possible in order to max out your affinity chart. I don't know if it's possible at some point to like completely hose yourself if you pick the wrong options in every side quest and then you end up not being able to do 5-star. I think there's usually enough quests to get you there no matter what you do, but don't quote me on that one. I have no idea because I've never screwed up that bad before. Usually, I've never screwed up that bad before. But anyway, yeah, you can see another blue link there between Andreas and Monica. So, that's nice. So yeah, I just wanted to show off how, you know, our doing side quests actually had a remote amount of effect in the game. But anyway, if you remember in the last side quest episode, we completed Education-Minded Susanna, where we had to get her some Black Skeeter Nectar. Well, this is a follow-up to that quest. There's going to be quite a few follow-up side quests in this and the next side quest episode, where we're continuing on from a few chains of side quests. Not too many, there's not like a huge number of chained side quests. Like, this is going to be the last one. Education Crazy Susanna, by the way. But like, there's going to be just a lot of those. Which is kind of nice, because it kind of gets you involved in the stories of some of the NPCs. It makes you care a little bit more about the world, you know? Anyway, we want some heavy Bunniv Iron from Bunivs in Tephra Cave. They're easy enough to get from the Iron Bunivs, or just about any Buniv in Tephra Cave, really. They shouldn't be too difficult to get, and if you need to, you can just skip travel to the Magnal Ruins repeatedly just to get more. Once you gather the heavy Bunniv Irons, return to Susanna. Our next next quest is a follow-up to Dean's Shady Request, which we actually finished up earlier in the episode. You need to speak to Liliana in order to initiate this quest, and you obviously have to do both Rocco's Heartful Request and Dean's Shady Request in order to do this quest. This is Liliana's Sincere Request. Now then, our goal is a little bit far away. We're going to have to go to Agora Shore, which is all the way over there, and there's no skip travel point, so you're going to have to swim every time you want to head over there, which is a little annoying. You also want to be careful because the enemies around here are pretty strong. They're about twice your level at this point in the game, so you really don't want to tango with anything, especially not the unique monsters that roam Agora Shore at all. Now once you get to Agora Shore, you want to kind of hug the back wall over here, the wall to the right, and kind of approach the exclamation marker. And you'll notice that the cave we want to go in is guarded by a level 40 unique monster called Gentle Rodriguez. But you actually can complete this quest without defeating Gentle Rodriguez at all. You can actually do it right now. You just gotta be a little bit careful, inch your way close enough so that you can lure Gentle Rodriguez. Just a little closer. Within spitting distance. You gotta get within spitting distance. And there we go. Once you lure him, run. Immediately run. You want to run fast enough so that he can't actually attack you. You don't even want to bother trying to fight him because you can't win at these levels. But anyway, if you lure away Gentle Rodriguez and turn and run, he'll return to his original location, but he'll be facing away from the cave entrance instead of towards it for a few seconds. If you're fast enough, you can grab the message in a bottle before he even notices you. Skip travel on out of there and head back to Liliana. Or, well, sorry, not Liliana. Even me in the future forgot this part. You gotta give Sonia the message before you go back to Liliana. But yeah. If you want to do this the legit way, you'll need to be way higher level than we are now. You won't be level 40 until almost the halfway point in the game, or the halfway point in the story, and that's a long way away. So, yeah, it's easy enough to do it even now, so that's pretty nice. But anyway, once you hand over the bottle, you can return to Liliana and finish this quest off. I will say this will reduce the rank between Dean and Sonia by a little bit, but it'll improve Liliana's rank with her mother a lot, so it's generally evened out. Just in case you were curious as to how this is reflected on the affinity chart. Yeah, I'll show you here. Yeah, you see? They're all one big happy family. Anyhow, if you remember, we also had taken the young captain's suffering for Emmy Leader a while back. We could complete that now, since we took out the wind vangs in Tefra Cave. There we go. But she also has a follow-up quest. You should be expecting a lot of these, because Emmy Leader has a lot of quests for us. One of those NPCs that you really just kind of, get to know during the course of the game. But anyway, this quest is A Young Captain's Rise. We have a choice of defeating one or the other monster in Tefra Cave, either at the Spring of Grief or Vilia Lake. It doesn't particularly matter which you pick, they're both pretty weak, and they both amount to the exact same side quest reward. Like, it doesn't even change what path you're on for anything, you just pick one. Once you defeated either the Lurker Brog or the Lurker Crabble at Vilia Lake, head back to Emmy Leader and complete the quest. It's not too long, not too long. Now, believe it or not, we've got another quest over here. If you remember the Lost Pendant, which we gathered near Vilia Lake during the storyline, I think, or was it during the last side quest episode? Whatever. Head back over to the cylinder hangar and we can give it back to him. You also obtained clearing obstructions at some point, I believe, also during the main storyline. Basically, you just need to wander through between the Spring of Grief and Vilia Lake and murder a whole bunch of Arachnos. 2 devoted Arachno, which is in that area where you made camp during the main storyline. 4 resolute Arachno here in this area where we got grabbed, where Ryan got grabbed by the Arachno in the storyline. And then 3 zealous Arachno in the little room just beyond there. You don't even need to report to anyone for this because it's unnamed generic quest, for lack of a better term. Just once you finish off the Arachno that you were assigned to destroy, you'll complete the quest automatically, like you see right here. Use that to sync up the audio, future me. Now once you've done pretty much all the other little quests that you can do here in Tefra Cave for the Defense Force soldiers, you can talk to the one over here in Magnal Ruins, all the way at the top floor, for one more quest for the Tefra Cave people. This is a thank you. It's really simple. All you need to do is head back up to Bionis Knee and collect the reward. Alright, so now we're going to get into the Refugee Camp side quests. These all count towards Colony 6 affinity rather than Colony 9, which all the other quests have been for. So keep that in mind, and keep in mind that your stars for Colony 9 are pretty much separate from your stars in Colony 6, so they have different star requirements in each area for certain quests. We're going to start off with Thieving Monsters, and you'll notice that this quest is timed. Almost every single quest for the Refugee Camp is timed, but you don't need to worry about the conditions for the quest expiring, because it's entirely player-driven when those quests expire. I'll explain more when it becomes relevant. That'll be a side quest episode, a pretty meaty one, coming in the near future, so. Anyway, the clothes are over here to the north of Ro Oasis in the Tirkin headquarters. They're just lying there kind of in the middle, so you can grab them and be on your way. Our next quest takes us to Ernest. Now, despite what I just said, every quest that Ernest offers you isn't timed. He pretty much will stick around here for the rest of the game, so you don't need to worry about his stuff expiring. You only really need to worry about the other people's stuff expiring. But again, the expiring is pretty obvious when that's going to happen because it's entirely player-driven. Well, namely, they all expire when you complete a certain side quest. But anyway, Ernest's Fibs. This is the first in a chain of 3 side quests for Ernest. This is the only one we're going to be doing in this episode. We're going to take the next one after this, but we can't quite do it yet because it takes us to areas we haven't reached in the plot. But anyway, in order to find the ether deposit Ernest was mentioning, we need to head over to Kisk Cave. If you just hug the wall to the right after leaving the refugee camp, kind of go up on this plateau over here, you'll see a little cave. This is Kisk Cave. Now down inside this cave are a whole bunch of enemies that you don't really need to fight, and the ether deposit that you want to investigate is over here. You'll get swarmed by a whole bunch of fierce fangs, but you don't actually need to beat them. You can actually get away with just running away from this fight, or even if you get bodied, which, spoiler alert, I'm about to get bodied, it's fine. You don't need to beat them in order to complete the quest. At this point, I could have just returned to Ernest, but I thought it would be more entertaining to watch me get completely destroyed by a large swarm of bats. This is weird too, because like I died, but I didn't like respawn because I like de-aggroed at that instance, and then I like tried to fight them again, and then I got bodied again, and then I actually just got kicked out. Yeah, I genuinely don't know what happened there. It confused me back then. It confuses me back now. But anyway, that's the end to Ernest's Fibs. Our next quest is over here with Olga. She can be found inside the Refugee Camp cave at 10 o'clock. Most of the NPCs at Refugee Camp are they're either hanging out inside this cave at around 10, or they're outside near the lake at around 10. There's not a whole lot of NPCs here in the first place anyway, so... By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but the goal of us doing these side quests is to make it to around level 20 before we fight the next boss. You can actually get away with doing it at about 18, but 20 is kind of an ideal. The next boss is definitely something I call a newbie trap, so... But anyway, this quest is... Emergency treatment. We just need a whole lot of glowing wisp fluid. The wisps you can find around Camo's Guidepost, kind of in this area, only at night and only during clear weather. They're really easy to kill. You probably could even finish them off with a backslash if you aimed it right. And they drop glowing wisp fluid reasonably often, although not too often, so you might find yourself grinding for a little while, but that's totally fine. It's something that happens. Once you collect all of the glowing wisp fluid, or alternatively you can just trade with Ewan, he offers it at 1-star affinity, so he's actually available to do so right now if you wanted to. You can trade with him for the glowing wisp fluid, and once you find them all, just return to Olga and you'll complete the quest. Alright, so our next quest is actually the first in a fairly lengthy chain, starting here with Matriona. Yeah, so we're going to be doing quite a few of these quests. We're going to start this chain in this episode, and then we're going to continue on as far as we can in the next one. There's going to be 2 side quest episodes. Pretty much, I'm going to release them probably... I'm not going to put a date on them. But I'm going to release them one day after the other, and then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled ass-kicking. So, yeah. But anyway, first part of this chain side quest, basically they're trying to write a book for one of the kids in the colony that ended up pretty scarred at the fact that their entire colony was destroyed. This is a thoughtful idea. For this, we need to first speak to Ewan, who is hanging around in the cave during the daytime like everyone else. He's just right over here. Now, unfortunately, that's not the only thing we have to do, because Ewan is kind of, well, Ewan. Ewan is going to ask us to collect a whole bunch of Ponyo neck meat. You can find them on Field Ponios on Bionis Leg in pretty much the same area that Territorial Rotbart likes to roam. Just be aware, Territorial Rotbart is level 81, and you really don't want to mess with him, because he'll destroy you. It's really just better to let him wander away, and then start, killing the Ponios. It shouldn't be too hard to get. Ponyo neck meat, I've noticed, isn't that rare, and there's also, a ton of Field Ponyo in this area. So, there you go. Once you've collected the Ponyo neck meat, come back to Ewan and he'll actually agree to do some work. Then speak to Matriona to complete the side quest. Anyway, in the next episode of Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles, we're going to be continuing on doing a couple more side quests both here and back in Colony 9. There's a couple more that are opening up to us in the relatively near future. In particular, we'll be continuing on with Ewan and Matriona's chain quest, and then we'll be following up on a few more quests over in Colony 9. Sorry, I keep saying that. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys then!